Thank you, Samar. I'm really grateful for reaching out to me to host this session. Everyone, hi. Good evening from Karachi. My name is Owais Shaikh, and I'm actually an IP enthusiast. It's been more than around 16 years since I ventured into the exciting, rather super exciting field of intellectual property, and I've loved every moment of it. And I have a PhD in the area, so I can say I know a thing or two about intellectual property as well. But the field is changing so fast that you have to be always keep learning new stuff, and especially with blockchain, NFTs, crypto, especially NFTs. Things have changed so fast that you have to keep up on how where technology is going, and as well as how NFTs, metaverse, blockchain are going to influence business as well as the legal side. I am a mentor to an advisor to many startups. One of the big names would be Quick Trust, which is an emerging startup based in London, working on a blockchain solution and something that we call Super NFT, which is a proprietary concept we are working on at this point. We also have a legal and management IP consultancy, which focuses on IP law and commercialization. And I'm a student of blockchain and NFTs. I cannot claim to know too much. I've just ventured into the area, and I'm as excited as everybody else to learn more from Raheel and understand the journey that he has taken in the last let's say a decade or so, and what we can learn from his journey and success mission. So Raheel, finally, good to see you. And yeah, so would you like to briefly, so you have been introduced really nicely from Summer as well, but would you like to introduce yourself a little more?
Yes, Dr. Owais, thank you very much. Summer, first of all, congratulations. And it's always been a pleasure to talk and share my ideas with Epiphany, especially on your events. They're very well organized and very diverse audiences and very good insights. So the journey about mobile apps and gaming, so we started back in 2009 and 2010. It was very early ages of mobile games and mobile apps development. And there were not many platforms available for good gamification experiences. So at that time, the real challenge was how to give a good gaming experience. So uh, to fulfill that, we developed our own small gaming engine. We developed a small gaming engine, a 2D gamified engine that was able to give the experience of the users of the market that was required at that time. Because at that time the devices were very low. Maximum you get a 2 GB device, and the animations was running at like maximum 60 frames per second. So considering all those constraints at that time, and the monetization was very tough at that time. There were not much ad networks were available. Users were hardly spending a bucks on their in-app purchases. So we faced all those problems, and the resource development, especially establishing a mobile games company in Pakistan, was really tough at that time because there were no resources available. We trained fresh graduates. We put them up to the power so they'd be able to translate user requirements into gamified experience. And there was a tough time, and it was difficult to educate graphic designers. It was because they were creating high-end graphics, and the devices were really low end, so it was difficult for them to digest this dilemma that make graphics. Those are easily running on 2 GB devices. Animation engines were not there. We developed a small animation engine where designers were able to create their graphics and run them, and then go through them through our animation engine, and then we were compiling them into a whole gamified experience. So gradually, we moved on. Devices were improving, new platforms were coming, monetization techniques were coming, Google policies were improving. So Google itself was at that time, it was a very new platform, and they don't know how to handle that much traffic and everything. uh, at that time there was only one ad network. Hardly we were able to monetize through AdMob, and then the many new monetization ad networks joined in. And then the problem was at the publishers end, at the developers end. How many ad networks they need to integrate and how to switch between ad networks. So we developed a small SDK at that time that helped users to publishers, mobile game developers and publishers like us, to switch between ad networks. But to make it easy, the small SDK was helping developers and publishers without giving an update. And that small SDK is now the console ads. It's one of our products. I joined. That is like the brain of Asad Mahmood and myself. We uh, converted that whole the problems that we were facing being a developer and publishers. We made console ads seamlessly easy for developers to make, to monetize their applications properly and more effectively. And then there was a revolution of 3D games when Unity became popular. So 3D games were very becoming more and more popular on mobile, on app stores. At that time again, the challenge was the resources. We have to train our own resources, our senior developers, junior developers, fresh graduates, hire fresh graduates and train them on Unity. The whole process of grinding them to the whole a good monetizable product at that time was very difficult. But we again went through that whole journey, training our resources and everything. And then there was a time when market was becoming more and more competitive. So you need to invest heavily on monetization and user acquisition. So acquisition, retention, and monetization, the three main genres we covered, the three main pillars of this industry we covered, building our own resources and training them through whole life cycle. So and then there was another. So it's all about the new challenges are coming up, and we're facing them, we're solving, and then moving ahead. So monetization and then calculating your ROI. So that is a tough part, especially in gaming industry in Pakistan, where there is no proper gaming culture. There are no game designers. So how you calculate LTV? How you design a good economy, a game that has good economy and more spend back?
I'll Rahil,
Yeah.
hold that thought. I'll come back to that, and that's really important. But I
Okay.
want to know, things were so difficult back, when you started. Why
Yes.
did you do so? Why did you venture in this industry? Why?
So that's the journey of an entrepreneur. So when you believe in something and you see an opportunity coming up, so that is a time when I was doing a job at that time, and I decided to quit my job and start something as an entrepreneur. And as an entrepreneur, as early as you start and as early you take up challenges, that's the best thing you do. So when you start a small company, the thing is it's like a water flow. Wherever the company goes, you go with it. So whatever comes in our way, we have to do it, because at that time you don't have any choice to do. As an entrepreneur, whatever comes your way, you solve the problem and get it done. So we started developing small mobile apps, the native Android apps, and the backend was on PHP and everything. So from web, the industry was shifting towards the mobile apps. So we jumped into mobile apps to grab the opportunity, and to take, especially to take early movers advantage. And that's I really always encourage and appreciate people always take early movers advantage. It was difficult for us to build our own ad network at that time, but Asa took up the challenge, and we took that early movers advantage. So that's why OS we decided to take that early movers advantage and build a small engine and so on.
Cool, and you're happy, and I can see that you're happy that you did venture in this. So
Um,
yeah, it's please go ahead with the ROI part, please.
yeah, so that is a very important thing because it's not in, and when we see from the perspective of a local gaming industry in Pakistan, we always focus on okay, just the development. Okay, just get it developed and that's it. So we developed it, that's it, the job is done. No, actually, it's just the first stage crossed. Okay, you developed a game, but how to your market will evaluate the product, and that's why most of the gaming studios in Pakistan are still looking for publishers to get a publishers to make a venture with the publisher, and they will earn for us. Why not you earn for yourself? And that is the barrier we broke in Gamestorm Studios, that we bought so many games from other studios. They were going bankrupt, or their publishers were not happy. We bought that games from them, we published them, we spend money on them wisely, and we set the pipeline, the lifetime value of the game with your marketing strategy. That is something which really matters. You're acquiring users, okay, you should have a strong numbers with all the analytics you have, and for that you need to build a strong team. Our marketing team is state of the art. They're Google certified, they know how to calculate the LTV, they know how to, and that talent, again, there was a problem at that time. That talent was not readily available in the market. We have to develop. I educated my team myself. I took them with me through this whole journey to make our games more and more ROI positive. The marketing strategy we devise, uh, we plan the game accordingly. Okay, the thing is, we design the economy on Excel sheets. We design all the levels. The work breakdown structure is properly designed. When we go live with the beta, uh, that is a time when you might have to change the strategy of your game design as per your users. Some of the games, some of the genres are more popular in T1 country, some are in T2, some are in T3. So you never know what users want, and the challenge is always that you have to keep on changing your marketing strategy, your production, your post
It's a
production.
discovery process here.
It's a discovery process. So that is the thing that we mastered with our based on of experience, that we make games more and more ROI positive, and especially because we have our own ad network and in-app purchases. We advertise in-app purchase as well. So and the trends are very important, because you need your team should be a cutting edge. You should be able to, you should have awareness of all the new trends coming up into the market, and keep scaling your games accordingly.
You are the go-to guy to for anybody whose game is not working.
You can say that definitely. We are,
Yeah.
me or my team, always available. Yes,
No,
that.
that's important, because I'm just thinking that not everybody has the kind of muscle. Even when you were starting off, I think, or venturing to the gaming industry, you had the kind of muscle that was useful, that maybe you could use. Am I correct in saying that? Because a lot of the indie developers would not have that kind of, neither
So
the understanding nor the muscle. Is it true?
so we no. So the thing is, we never raised any capital or never did any funding from any investor. Never. The thing is, you take it gradually. Okay, as an indie, we were an indie developer, obviously, but we focused on monetization from first day. And that's why when there was a challenge to switch between ad networks to monetize your games more properly, more effectively, we built a small SDK to make it seamlessly and easily and readily. Because if you switch network quickly, you get better recipients. And that's why that behind that SDK now is this the full-fledged
So what?
platform
So,
that contributes.
so are
So
you suggest? Yeah, please go ahead.
so from
Sorry.
indie developer, so always the monetization is a very important part. So keep on evolving, and that is the thing that you as an indie developer to a mid-core and to a single A or double A, triple A game. So that's a typical life cycle of any gaming industry, and that's which is typical cycle we are on right now as games and studios.
Cool. I have a couple of more questions, but I'll go to the Bitcoin, the blockchain part, because
Ah,
we have around 10 minutes left. So how do you see? And I know that you're seeing this obviously industry, moving to
yeah.
adopting, obviously, and gaming is the industry when it comes to when we talk about something like metaverse and all those things that have yet to materialize. And I think the earliest manifestation of something that we are calling metaverse today
Mhm.
is our games. So how does that excite you? And what are your thoughts about integration of blockchain, and what are you looking at as the usage of NFTs
So the thing
in this
is,
area? And what is Game Studio doing in this?
yes.
Gamestorm Studio doing?
So always the thing is, as you know, that gaming industry revolved from like pay to play model, from fee to play model, and now play to earn model is coming up. That is what NFT is all about. Okay. And again, I would suggest all the studios to have an early mover advantage into it, and that's what we are trying to do. So Games of Studios right now is trying to have an early mover advantage into the NFT gaming to make our games as quickly as we can NFT enabled, to generate tokens and start trading and give our users a very good experience of play to earn model. It's a new revolutionized model. This is the next big thing coming up. And as we have seen that in past 3 months, since in 2021, NFT trading volume is 10.6 billion US dollars. And gaming volume and all the NFTs that have been traded through games is $2.3 billion, and the growth rate is 70%. So it's the next big thing. The gaming industry overall is a $200 billion, $100 billion is almost the mobile gaming is on $100 billion right now, and this is the next big thing coming up. NFT gaming is the next big thing where play where you need to give your users a good experience. They earn uh, money, they earn coins while playing your games, and you give them a good gaming experience. You build a platform. Your games will now become a platform where the trading is being done. So this is definitely the next big thing.
So do you have any, would you like to reveal any specific concrete steps or information that you guys are working on at this point?
So yes, so definitely we some of our more successful games, like we have farming game, we have clicker games, we have some of the racing and racing games. We have picked the games which have more potential based on our market study. They can perform well on NFT gaming. We are converting those games NFT enabled, and we are partnering with some of the companies abroad right now, because we have signed DND, so I cannot disclose the details of the company. We have partnered with them, and we will be trading their tokens. They have their whole platforms, Ethereum based and some other currencies. So we will be putting their tokens into our games and hope for the best.
Cool. So I see that you're betting on the future of NFT really
Oh yes,
making
definitely.
big
Mm.
waves in this area as well. I'm also of the same opinion, but in many cases you kind of realize that technology has its own weird ways of revealing itself um, on both sides. So it can go either way. But yeah, NFT is very interesting, and especially when it comes to IP.
Oh yes,
That's
oh
also an
yes.
area that that's what's made me interested in the whole NFT space, especially. So one story that once told me about. I'm just my own selfish interest in IP, so I'll take this in as well. Um, IP has always been a very interesting area, especially when it comes to creativity, and games are all about creativity. Um, any interesting anecdotes, stories? How do you actually manage, maintain, enforce your IP, or more than that, how do you transact your IP? So anything that you would like to share with the participants that may be of interest?
Gaming. The thing is that IP gaming and IP is something which is very tricky. As you know that even a slight change in the title or something, if you call, if anything looks similar to another, it's considered as an IP infringement. So the thing is, the uniqueness is very important in gaming, obviously. And as we know, the policies of the play stores and the pub and you need to take particular, if you have IP rights on your, if you need to get trademarks, you need to get IP. So the thing is that an idea is very generic. Okay, if so, if it's not that someone can say that only I can make FPS games. That hundreds of billions of companies making FPS games, obviously, but your idea has to be unique. Definitely, your design has to be unique. Your icon, your post production, your characters, your avatars. So bring uniqueness into them and get them IP, and that is how the Fortnite got so much response from the users, because they were able to give new skins to the users and a new variety of environment details into the environment, so the users were hooked. And NFT ensures that. So because if you see that you get and if it's like a digital certificate of like a property. You own a piece of art, you own anything, you developed a 3D modeler or a 2D artwork, you get your NFT tokens onto it, so you actually own that. That is a unique a token that has been assigned on that a particular piece of art, your own property, and that cannot be duplicated, and you can trade that as much as you want. So this is, I think, the NFT. The good part, what I would say, that through blockchain, the good part about NFT gaming is that you will be able to secure your IPs more easily.
One of the things that I really find interesting and fascinating, especially with regard to NFTs and IP, is that it enables way more contribution by the
Yes.
users in terms of creativity.
Yeah.
And one of the things that really made me interested, especially when I was reading about Second Life, and
Ah,
that was one of the they don't call themselves a game, they call themselves an
it's a platform.
experience, and
Yes.
I think it is quite interesting with all the land barons and real estate barons and all those people making real money in Second Life itself. And one of the interesting things that I did find was that any any content that you create on Second Life, Linden Labs does not claim its ownership. So it's the creator that creates and retains the ownership. So through NFTs, and obviously
Yeah.
I'm talking about mid 2000, mid early this century, last decade, and so mid, I think 2006 till 2013. That was the time that we did not have, this kind of digital
Yes.
verification, certification of digital assets. Now, especially with NFTs, I see, and that's what you said. I mean, it's not only just play to earn, but also create to earn kind of, there
Yes.
can be many platforms where you are not actively playing in the sense of playing, but you can actually set up your shop as a creator
Yes.
just
Exactly.
for.
Exactly. Exactly. Even if you see that, even if we put the NFTs aside, and right now the social gaming, even in one of our farming games, even you have built a farm, you can trade with your Facebook friends, you can trade with your other friends, you can sell your whole bond to them, whatever you created in terms of tokens, in terms of coins, whatever you have. Now, at that thing put on NFT makes it more secure, and users can earn real money onto their creations, onto whatever they created and they built into the games, and that's where games become a platform, and more interactive platforms where users are encouraged to play more, earn more, and that's how. Take the example of. I mean, recently, there's a game from Vietnam became very popular. Just skip the name of the game. Axie Infinity. If you take example of Axie Infinity, it became so. So there, people, the users are creating their own small creatures like Pokemon type creatures, and uh, they're selling those creatures. And recently, per month, Axie Infinity is playing to its users in millions of dollars right now. and they are increasing by by the rate of 100%. So you can see these examples encourage you to get your games NFT enabled and give your users the next level of models they are looking for.
Raheel, it's always exciting to talk to you. And when I'm talking to you, I didn't even realize that we had been talking for like 25 minutes. And there's a lot more to cover, but unfortunately, the time is up. I'm really grateful to you for speaking to us today. And at the same time, I'm also thankful to Summer for organizing such a great conference. It's loaded with so much knowledge, and I feel overwhelmed. So yeah, over
Me
to you,
too.
Summer. Thank you very much.
Me too, because
Samar.
there's so much brain power since morning. And I was just thinking, thank God for VFair's platform. And then we have a month actually to save all of the recordings and transfer them over onto YouTube, because I think this is really, really rich content.
Yes,
So
definitely.
thank you very much, Raheel. So very quickly, I want to plug in something about the Gamestorm Studio. So the Gamestorm Studios has supported us in the past and continues to be a supporter at the back end. And, thank you very much, Raheel, for doing that. We really appreciate it. And we appreciate it because we like the people that we like to support us. I don't know if that makes sense or not. We will keep coming back to the ones that we have a relation.
It's always a pleasure, Samir. It's really, always amazing to see your energy and everything. It's amazing.